Hi, I'm Ron Moorhead, and you're listening to the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Hey there, ponderers of the paranormal. Thank you for tuning in to the Paranormal Zone. We have a fantastic episode lined up for you. Mike and I just had the joy and honor of speaking with team members of the hit Travel Channel program Expedition Bigfoot, Bryce Johnson and Ronny LeBlanc. Bryce is an acclaimed actor and producer, as well as creator and host of the popular podcast Bigfoot Collectors Club. You may recognize Bryce from such programs as Pretty Little Liars and the 2013 found footage horror film Willow Creek. Ronny is a globally recognized figure in the world of the paranormal, Bigfoot, and UFOs. He is an independent researcher, screenwriter, and author of the critically acclaimed and best-selling book Monsterland, Encounters with UFOs, Bigfoot, and Orange Orbs. The new season of Expedition Bigfoot premieres later this month, March 20th, on the Travel Channel and Discovery Plus. So let's go. Let's talk all things Bigfoot and Sasquatch with Bryce Johnston and Ronny LeBlanc, team members and stars of Expedition Bigfoot. So we can't thank you guys enough for joining us. This is exciting. Thank you so much.
Oh, man, it's our pleasure, man. Yeah, I know we got a limited time, so I guess whenever you guys want to jump in. Now, Are we doing video or audio only?
Well, I got you on. We're doing audio for the main feed, podcast feed, but I do record our episodes on video to put on our Patreon page if you guys are okay with having your lovely faces on our Patreon page.
Yeah, well, that's fine by me.
Yeah, that sounds fine. Let me just turn on my video here.
Sure, perfect.
Be awesome if you were like in the tub, Bryce.
Yeah, no, that's no problem.
Perfect.
Well, we have had some guests that are definitely wanted only audio because of being in their pajamas or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is, so we understood that.
Yeah.
I have no pants on right now. So
that's true.
That's how we record every episode. Mike and I are pantsless.
Yep.
So, well, yeah, I've been recording this whole time, so we can't thank you guys. We're joined by Ronny LeBlanc. Is LeBlanc? How do you prefer that one?
Say LeBlanc. In Massachusetts, it was like LeBlanc.
Yeah,
but outside, that's LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Throw that accent in there.
Yeah, but two awesome members from Expedition Bigfoot, Bryce and Ronny. Thank you guys for joining us. This is a pleasure for us. This is exciting.
A great honor.
Very much so.
Thanks
Great
for having
honor.
us.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're excited to be here to talk to you guys. So, thanks for having us.
Yeah, I have to get this out of the way, Bryce. My fiance Bridget was pretty excited when she learned I was speaking with you because she recognized you. And she's like, "Oh, I've seen him. I know him." And so she says,
"I'm sure
hi.
you get that plenty of times, wherever you go."
It's always nice when I do. Do you know what she was? Was she watching? Was it Pretty Little Liars or was it Willow Creek?
That was exactly what it was. Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah. Usually with the ladies, it's Pretty Little Liars, and then with the gentlemen, it's Willow Creek. But I love when they co-merge. So that's great, man. Tell her I said hello.
I will. Absolutely. That's awesome. Well, since this interview was booked, I had questions started flying through my mind, and we have limited time, so I want to get to as much as we can. But the first one I wanted to throw out towards you guys. Put yourselves in the minds of like someone who is not a Bigfoot investigator, who's not actively out there searching for signs of Bigfoot. Let's say like Mike and I are just out in the woods camping, doing whatever.
Yeah, but we would be searching though when we're out there.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, bad example. But go ahead.
Yes.
Well, and we
Golden Girls. Are out.
There you go.
There you go.
And we would have our pants on, so don't go there about that one. But we're out there. Then let's just say, what type of signs would the average person, kind of like Mike or I, tend to overlook? I mean, what would be out there? What signs would Sasquatch or Bigfoot leave that aren't necessarily obvious?
I think you just stated the word obvious.
Yes.
And Ronnie, I know you'll attest to this. When you're out in the woods looking for anything that's unfamiliar or signs of something moving through there, you're looking for anything that's out of ordinary, especially in nature. And it usually jumps out at you, I would think, especially like tree structures. That's just something that when you come across it, that does not look normal in a wooded environment. So I think that's the type of stuff you're looking for, is anything that's out of place.
Yeah, the structures is definitely one of those things. And a lot of these tree bends that are be pointing in certain directions, and they seem to be following a path. But one of the other things that we've found too is going down a trail, and you'll notice like up high, maybe 6, 7, 8 feet, all those branches are broken off along this trail. So something's been moving up and through this thing that is at that height. So things like that, where you kind of go, all right, this is a little strange. It's not, dead branches falling down, but something has been moving through here.
Okay. So definitely stuff that would pop out to us, that would make us at least go, that kind of seems, it's not quite as subtle as, other signs may be, I suppose, but
I think that's right. And Russell Acord is great at subtle. Like he can walk through in an environment and see like a hair that's out of place. As a matter of fact, I think he's gathered most of the hair evidence on our expeditions thus far, but he's got a really acute eye for that stuff. I mean, he's a seasoned hunter and tracker and a survivalist. So he has all those tools at his facility to notice anything out of place, even at the most minute level.
That would be invaluable.
Absolutely.
As a hunter, he impresses me. The things that he's always teaching me different things, but stuff that he'll see that you're kind of like, what the heck? It's just kind of changing your perception. But him spending a lot of time out in the woods, as he has since he was a kid hunting with his dad, those things just come naturally after time. So
sure. Before I forget, this is a big question. It's a controversy will always brew. Where do you guys stand on the suggestion that in order to prove the existence of this creature, we have to have a body, a physical specimen? What are your thoughts on essentially killing Sasquatch in order to prove its existence?
It's not something that I would be going out with a mission to take one out.
Yeah.
However, I think the idea would be to find one recently deceased, if possible. The idea that maybe they are kind of carrying them away, burying them, hiding the bodies, but something like that I think needs to happen for science to really pay attention. And I think the general public, for them to kind of go, I want to see something. I think that's not unreasonable.
Okay. Do you agree with that?
If they never do find one, it wouldn't bother me much too bit. I love keeping the mystery alive,
Right.
And look, we're not going on these expeditions armed. We're there to gather evidence and hopefully get a visual confirmation with all of us, videographic proof. We're looking for anything. In the scientific world, they seem to be most impressed with eDNA results, which we've gotten some pretty interesting hits in the past expedition. So that's a really good indicator for science. But yeah, I was thinking about this today, like, what's the ultimate goal for us as a team, or even for me personally? And I don't know, I think it's kind of to be out there with the crew, with us, and see one of these creatures, and also get it in clear on a video in the daytime. But look, as we know, even with the best evidence, like the Patterson-Gimlin film, which was filmed out in the open in the daylight, still nobody is gonna 100% believe. So it's like, you can only do so much. And we're looking to gather as much evidence we can and create this composite picture that says there is a phenomenon at play in these forests. Something is happening. People are experiencing something. They're seeing something, and it's leaving clues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's exactly right. I think the main thing is we're doing a TV show documenting expeditions going out there, and for us to get something on video like that, and I think we have to be like, if it's Bryce getting chased by something, we have it in the frame. That's what we need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Perfect.
Like that would be amazing. But I think I think it is a matter of time, because we're going into these spots that are hot with activity, and we're getting things up close and personal. So I know that it's just a matter of time that we're going to have more and more evidence that will, I think, satisfy not only our fans, but people that want to see this thing get out of the myth and into the history books. So
what if you were to throw out a guesstimate? What are your thoughts on a Bigfoot population in order to sustain itself? What type of numbers are we looking at out there?
Well, it's guesswork really, but I would probably defer to Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum. I think he sort of tried to put a number on it, and it would be somewhere in the thousands, and that's just, I think, generated within the Pacific Northwest, including Canada. So anywhere else beyond that scope is anyone's guess. But, look, people report these upright walking hairy creatures all over the world. This isn't just a mystery that's relegated to Oregon and California and Washington. This happens all over the world, in the eastern United States, in Australia, in China, you name it. People are seeing these creatures. Now, what that is the question. Is this really a flesh and blood relict hominid, or is this something more out of the ordinary? Is this some type of, interdimensional interloper? We don't know, because, people do describe these things dematerializing, and there are strange phenomena that go hand in hand with these Bigfoot encounters. And I know Ronny can attest to that, but we've experienced all kinds of things, strange balls of lights, these crazy vocalizations. So we are on our expeditions butting up against something. And when you look at all of it together, I mean, it convinces me pretty good that, we're tracking this creature that people call Bigfoot.
And
go ahead.
It'd be fascinating to, actually piece it all together and actually have that paranormal aspect to it, as well as the physical. It would just put such a great spin on it that fascinating. I mean, whether it's just a flesh and blood creature, or if there is that paranormal aspect, it would be just a wonderful addition.
I think the reason why it hasn't been figured out is because that paranormal, the strangeness side of it, has been pulled out of it, left out of reports, because it's too strange.
Right.
But it actually holds the part of that truth that we're looking for, that maybe this thing can do what the Native Americans say, and it can kind of go in between. Bryce.
Yeah, and we're not going to discount anything that we come across. I mean, and that's science, right? I mean, it's really taking a look at whatever happens out there in the field and reporting on it. And I think these strange things that do occur in these Bigfoot settings, they don't fit inside a lot of people's gray boxes of what they think Bigfoot should be. In fact, we know from Tom Powell's book, The Locals, who used to be a reporter for the BFRO, that they would just immediately discount any report that had a strange light or a dematerialization. So they've never even looked at that stuff, but people are seeing strange, there you go. But people are seeing strange things. And we would be at a loss if we didn't sort of report on that or investigate what that is. Stuff like cloaking, camouflaging, all these strange things that we're experiencing ourselves out in the field.
Yeah, the more expeditions we do, the more it's leaning for me to the side that this thing can do things that we don't understand.
Okay.
I mean, we're getting vocalizations back at us that we can feel. So it's not like a ghost in the sense where there's something that's leaving footprints, that's killing prey, that's, there's physicality to this thing, but then there's also this other strangeness that Bryce heightened up with the balls of light, and this stuff just seems to continue as we progress out there in the field.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
I'd even like on
Go ahead,
one episode I was looking into, there was actually some hawk feathers left underneath a windshield wiper that that shows some kind of intelligence and some kind of a message that it actually wants to send out. Things like that are amazing to me.
Make no mistake, I believe that these creatures, if in fact they do exist, are extremely intelligent.
Right.
They're reclusive, they're shy. Look, as soon as you step into the woods, I'm under the impression they already know we're there. Right.
Yeah.
So we're not going to fool them or sneak up on them. It's really a matter of, being in our environment, just going about our business, and then letting them become interested in us, to allow them to get closer to us, because they've managed to avoid detection for this long and definitive proof. So they must be doing something right, and when you're out in those woods, you just get it right away. Oh, if I wanted to go undetected and I was a master of this environment, it really would not be that difficult to avoid human contact altogether.
Yeah, that's another question I was wondering about, is like when you're out there and you're going through these deep, thick woods, do you ever have that feeling you can feel like you're being watched? They're out there. You can't see them, but you can just feel it. You can,
I use that as almost like a barometer to know where to go. Like when I start to feel that, I go towards it. And that's, it's scopathesia. About 90% of people have that feeling that they're being watched, and they can sense it. There's a physical reaction. You get that out there. You can feel something gazing at you. And oftentimes as we're walking through, we hear something walking along with us.
And walking with you.
And I think all of us have had something approach us, making noise that we couldn't see, but seemed to be right near us. And so that just creates a lot more questions when you're out there and you're experiencing that firsthand.
Yeah. And then you're getting close when you start to smell it. Have you ever had that experience where you smell that?
We haven't had the overwhelming scent. There's always been like this remnant smell. I know with the nest in Oregon, it had an odor, and then it kind of dissipated after a couple of days. But we haven't had that overwhelming, like, whoa. And I do think that people that experience that, even that smell, there's theories that the smell of it could cause that panic, that feeling that people describe along with infrasound, that getting zapped by that. I think there's something to do with that odor as well, that people are smelling it almost creates a reaction.
What are your thoughts on eyewitness testimony, eyewitness experiences that suggest that whatever they happen to be interacting with has a I'll use this term, has a violent tendency. I've read several accounts of, basically a nasty Bigfoot out there. Do you guys, for the most part, think that is generally a benign, harmless creature, entity, whatever you want to refer to it as, or that just simply has capabilities of reacting in that way, just like us humans do?
Well, I think anything that's trapped and put into a corner can become dangerous. But, I've spoken with quite a few witnesses, and, none of them that I've spoken to have had a violent encounter. I mean, they've had terrifying encounters and they've felt threatened, but no violence was ever inflicted. And yes, I have read those reports and heard some of those stories too, but they're very rare. Sure. I guess my belief would be that these creatures are looking to just avoid contact altogether. And I don't think they're out hurting people, hikers, campers, or anything like that. But like I said, those stories do exist, and anything that's caged might react back. So we're always cautious when we're on these expeditions. There is a sense of danger. I think we can all attest to that.
But if I had a choice to either run into a Bigfoot or a bear, I'll take the Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, because you could reason with a Bigfoot. You could be like, hey, let's talk here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love you.
Love you. Love.
Yeah.
Big love, Bigfoot. Yeah.
That's perfect. Now you mentioned briefly, and we already got like 10 minutes to go here. So earlier you mentioned the Patterson footage. What are your thoughts on the Bob Gimlin, Roger Patterson footage? I know, Bryce, you got to know Bob Gimlin. Just talk to us a little bit about that film and your thoughts on the individuals who filmed it.
Well, I'll tell you what, for those who know that film and for the viewers of the show, we have an incredible treat that they're all going to be privy to this coming season, which airs March 20th. We'll get to that, but there's a treat with the Patterson Gimlin film. I won't mention too much about it, but I cannot wait to see, how the fans react to that. Look, this is one of the most second analyzed films of all time, right behind the Zapruder film. More people have looked at this film trying to authenticate it or to debunk it. And it now lives in infamy. It'll never be authenticated. It'll never be debunked. So it's left to the individual, which I think is so incredible about this mystery. I know for me personally, the first time I saw that film, I was looking at something that wasn't supposed to exist, and it was looking back at me. And that really got my motor running as to what's out there in the world, what's the nature of reality, what's still left to discover. So, Bob Gimlin has never changed his story in over 50 years. I'm not willing to call that guy a liar. Listen, I think that film is authentic as it gets. When you place that film into the context of what happened 5 minutes before, what happened 5 minutes after, what happened a day before, a day after, when you know all those details, you can't look at that film and say, oh, these guys faked it, they hoaxed it, or they're lying to us, they put on a show. It just becomes almost so unfathomable. But anyway, like I said, nobody will tell one way or another. I love that film, and I really just feel like that creature now known as Patty is a real creature that does exist in the Pacific Northwest. And man, what an incredible piece of film.
It is.
The first time I saw that, I was very young, and I'm 60 this year, and my entire life I have been fascinated with it. I have, just by faith of seeing it and how I felt it, to me, it's real. Yeah. And it always has been ever since I was a little kid. So it's fascinating.
Yeah, Ronnie,
I love that it is a personal feeling for the viewer too, because look, that could easily happen to us out in the field. We could actually see something and then, even videograph it. We've got some incredible thermal videos, and it's at the end of the day, it's going to be left up to you, the individual, to look at what we're doing, to look at our evidence and say, that is something that is authentic. That's a Bigfoot, which I think is great. It's part of the fun of being interested in a subject like this. I mean, there's monsters that exist in the world. Who would have thought? Don't tell that to my 10-year-old son before bed, but it's true.
Yeah. And things we haven't even thought of discovering yet that's out there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, Ronnie and Bryce, I knew this would happen. It always does. The time just flies by, and it drives me nuts sometimes. I feel like I barely got to talk to you at all.
We need to change that time thing.
Well, no, that's okay. Well, guys, what can we have to look? What as viewers, what can we look forward to with Expedition Bigfoot coming?
Yeah,
up?
anything you can plug or
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We are fascinated, and I am a fan forever now. I mean, after getting deeper into this, so of the show, and I am not going to miss it. So, and I'm looking so forward to that episode, The Secret.
Oh, nice, good
surprise. Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, I would say, I'm excited for everyone to see Dr. Jane Goodall and hear her talk, because to have someone like her, a giant in the field, to talk about the potential of something like a Bigfoot existing, and her having an affinity for these reports, looking at them all the time. She knows the Yeren of China. She knows the Yao of Australia, so it's pretty exciting that she's, I think, a big cheerleader for us in the sense of, hey, we're doing it right. We're taking chances and we're trying to merge technology with different approaches and perspectives on this thing, so.
Excellent.
And I would just add, this is our biggest season yet. 16 full hour episodes, a pre and a post show.
Nice.
We get more activity this season. It's just incredible. I'm so excited for everybody to, come on this journey with us, because there's some pretty confounding things this season. I can't wait to start hearing the discussions about just some of the stuff we discovered. But fans of the show can watch it on March 20th. It premieres on Travel Channel, linear television, as well as Discovery Plus's pay platform. So you'll get it both ways. I know that was a thing in the past. Last year, it moved up to Discovery Plus on that amazing platform. But now viewers can watch it on the same date. 9 p.m. Eastern will be the pre-show with the famous Jane Goodall that Ronnie was speaking about. So you're not going to want to miss that. And it's an incredible ride. And I can't wait for the fans to see it.
That is excellent. Awesome. Well, Mike and I are definitely going to be watching.
Oh, absolutely.
We can't thank you guys enough. We're going to have to do this again sometime soon. If you don't mind, if we were okay to talk to today. So
oh, you guys were great. Yeah. Look, you got the two fans of the paranormal right here. I
absolutely.
mean, together, Ronnie and I, we're
that's awesome.
It's more than just a flesh and blood creature out there. We're into it. So.
Oh yeah.